Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you just joining us, my name is Alfred and this is Capital City Aquatics. And in today's video, I'm just going to be taking you around the fish room, see the different tanks. Had a lot of developments recently, lots of fry hatching or being born, so we'll take a look at the different fry that I have in some of my tanks. I've also added new fish to the gallery and two new 35 gallon aquariums, so we'll take a look at those and just an overall update on how everything is doing and where we stand as far as the fish gallery goes. So for those of you who haven't already done so, I would ask that you please subscribe to the channel. I certainly count on the support of all my viewers. Hit the like button if you like these type of videos, and the notification button so that you're notified when I come out with new videos. So let's get started. Alright, so here we have my Blue Moscow guppy tank. I have my males and females in here together. It's a 55 gallon tank, so there's plenty of room for them to swim around. And I'm currently keeping the tank at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which seems to be quite comfortable for them. I have some Java fern, some Java moss, some dragonstone, as well as different driftwood in here with my sand base layer over top of some nutrient-rich substrate for some of the plants that I have growing in the back here. You can see my dwarf sage back here. I have a ton of fry. You can see over here, lots of fry in the tank. I haven't separated them. You're gonna see how they do just being raised in this tank with the adults. So lots of fry in the tank. The adults don't seem to mind, they don't seem to bother them or chase them. I'm sure at some point some of them may have gotten eaten, but I definitely still have a large number of fry in here, so I'm not overly concerned. And because I am letting the fry grow up in this tank, I just have an appropriate sized sponge filter in here, and then it comes with the bio balls down below. So I've been doing a very good job of providing the beneficial bacteria to this aquarium. But overall, the fish in this tank are doing very well. You can see here my Java moss in the background is a nice bright green, so that's doing very well as well. And my Java ferns have rooted to the driftwood here, and I suspect them to start putting off new leaves and extending their rhizome shortly. Again, that's a much slower growing plant, so I'm certainly looking forward to this plant growing up along the branch here that you can see for the driftwood. And I'm sure over time this entire piece of driftwood will be covered with my Java fern, but again, it's a slower growing plant, so I'm sure it will take time. All right, so this is my 125 gallon. So I have some floating plants here, as well as some Vallisneria. Again, I have dragonstone and some dwarf sage, along with, again, the typical rock for most of my aquariums is the dragonstone. I have it in two separate piles here. You can see a nice healthy clump of Java moss in the middle. And then I have more Java fern in the back. And then in this tank, I will be adding my Bosmani rainbow fish to this tank today. I was able to find a lid for this aquarium to prevent my rainbow fish from jumping out, because that does happen from time to time. So what I did was I took a trip to my local hardware store and just got this white material. It's very easy to cut plastic, and it's just got the little holes in it, which allows me to do some feeding without removing the lid. And I just cut little notches in place for my filter, and that will provide the lid that I need to prevent my Bosmanis from jumping out once I put them in here, and that will most likely be today at some point. So I'll update you on my next video on how they're doing in this tank. But right now in here I just have a few zebra danios, and then I have one of my female guppies. Unfortunately, she's developed a curved spine, so I have her separated from the rest of my guppies. I'm not looking to breed her, but no need to euthanize her at this point. She's basically swimming around fine. She's not struggling, so she's living out her best life in this tank for now. When I put my Bosmanis in here, I might relocate her to a different tank, but for now she's just in here doing her thing. And the gravel substrate, the pea stone gravel substrate, no issues with it. I actually quite like the look of it, and I'm happy I chose that over some of the other options that were available to me. Alright, I have a new addition to the fish gallery. I was at my local fish store recently, and I picked up a group of 10 neon tetras. So they have their own tank now. It's one of my 30 gallons, and I have them in here with just a sponge filter and a few random plants. I'll definitely be adding more in the next few days. This is basically only them in this tank, so this is kind of a quarantine tank for them as well. I'm not treating with any meds at this point, but keeping a close eye on them, and their behavior seemed to be normal for the fish. There's nothing at this point. I've had them like 3 or 4 days, so nothing concerning with regards to their overall health. But with any fish that I keep in quarantine, definitely keeping a close eye on them. And again, I just have, you know, a few plants in here. More plants will be added in. And again, I just have the sand substrate with some dragonstone in this tank as well. All right, and then here we have my 50-gallon bowed front tank that I'm temporarily putting my Bosmanis in. They've been in here now for almost a month and a half to 2 months. All 7 of them are still doing very well. And they've gotten a little bit bigger. Their colors are now very well established. And in the next week or so, I'm going to be starting a breeding project with these guys. So I'll be documenting that. Hopefully I have some success. I've never bred these fish before, so we'll see how that goes. I've done a fair amount of research, and not overly concerned with how difficult it is, because they seem to breed quite easily given the proper parameters. But I'll definitely be conditioning these fish to be bred in the next couple of days, and hopefully within a week or two I have some Bosmani fry. But they're they're in my 50-gallon right now temporarily. I'll be moving the majority of them over to my 125 later today, and letting them enjoy their new permanent home. All right, and then this is my fish rack. So right here, this is basically just a hospital tank that I have right now. I have a couple of fish in there. One of my blue Moscow guppies, he has a bit of a rip in his tail that I'm treating for. And then I have a few of my guppy Endler mixes. Again, just they've sustained a little bit of damage to their fins. Nothing too serious, so I have them in this tank. Basically, I'm just treating it with aquarium salt right now and monitoring the situation to see if it gets any better, which it has been. I've noticed, especially on my blue Moscow male, the rip in his tail fin is starting to heal up, which is great news. Once that's back to normal, I'll look at putting him back in my 55 with the rest of my blue Moscows. And then over here, this is a very heavily planted tank, but I have some Endlers in here, female Endlers, and I'm basically just letting them grow out a little bit, and I'll be looking at possibly selling these to either my local fish store or at my aquarium club garage sale, which is coming up at the beginning of next month. And I have them in here with just a sponge filter, because they are pregnant, so I don't want the babies to get sucked up in a hang-on back filter or anything like that. And over here I have, basically it's my grow out tank with a few female Endlers in here. A lot of fry in this tank, as you can see, they're all swimming around. And then I also have my bristlenose plecos in this tank as well. You can see right here, the male is in the cave. He's not guarding any eggs at this point, but you can see I have the bristlenose pleco babies as well. You can see them down there and over there. And again, I'm just running a standard sponge filter on this. The main occupants of this tank are obviously fry, so I don't want to lose them. And again, I just have some floating plants in here and some Java moss and some driftwood for my bristlenose. All right, and in this tank, I just have pretty much a mix and match of everything. There's some of my blue Moscow guppies that don't have the coloring I necessarily want on my Moscows, so I've separated them and I put them in this tank. There's some Endlers in here as well, males and females. So again, I have fry in this tank as well. Curious to see what they look like when they grow up a little bit. And again, it's a very heavily planted tank with lots of Java moss, a very nice big Java fern. I have some crypts in the back, and a little bit more Java moss clumps here with some Java fern. And then I also have pothos growing out of the top of this tank, you can see, and it's got a very healthy root system here in the bottom. In this tank I have some of my nicer Endlers, some beautiful orange coloring on my males. You can see one right there, along with some of my more colorful females. Again, lots of floating plants to provide cover for the fry, and Java moss down here. My beautiful plants, they're doing extremely well in this tank. large piece of driftwood because I do have bristlenose plecos in here in the caves. And then just kind of like a finer river rock base in here for the aquarium. Again, they're doing very well, and everyone seems to be thriving in this tank as well. I do have a couple of fry in here. You can kind of see them swimming around, but perhaps I'll need to provide more cover, more hiding space for the fry. All right, now in this tank I have, basically it was my plants for profit tank, and I did throw some endlers in here, male and female, so they bred. I'm gonna be cleaning up this tank in the next week or two, but yeah, again, lots of Java moss, Java ferns. I have an Anubias plant in here as well with some driftwood. I have a bristlenose pleco who loves to hide in this tank, and I very rarely see him. Running my Eheim canister filter on this tank because it is quite heavily populated, and again, I'll probably be pulling out some of my more colorful male endlers from this tank and putting them in my Aquarium Club garage sale next month. Hopefully I can make a little bit of profit off of those, and I could possibly be bringing some plants as well. All right, and this is one of my last tanks. It's my juvenile Blue Moscow guppy tank. I have probably about 20 juvenile fry in here. In the next week or two, I'll be pulling these guys out and putting them in with the adults. They are definitely large enough where they could do well in that tank. And then I have a number of my red cherry shrimp in here as well. And again, lots of plants to provide lots of cover for my cherry red shrimp. And then I have just a sponge filter in the back. You can see it there. And then I have this tube. Basically, that's how I feed my shrimps. I take my pellets, I put it in the top of the tube, and it falls all the way down here to the feeding tray. And you can see I have just one shrimp there. But again, this tank, again, lots of fry, lots of shrimp. So I might possibly be bringing some of my shrimp to the garage sale as well. You can just make them out in the background there, some of my cherry red shrimp. And again, a lot of plants in here. I'll probably be thinning this out over the next week or two and adding some of these plants into my other aquariums. All right, and this is the project I'll be working on today, is painting up the stand for my other 33-gallon aquarium, which I have over here. There it is right there. But yeah, I'll just be painting that up as a black finish on it, and I'll be putting that beside this tank. The stands are going to be the same height. The tanks are more or less identical to each other, so they'll be pretty much standing at the same height. Everything should be good to go there. And not quite sure yet what I'll be putting in that tank, but I'll look to get that up and running shortly with some fish in there as well. And I'll keep you up to date on how that goes. All right, so that's it for today's video, everyone. Just a very quick tour of what's going on in my fish gallery. Again, as you saw in the video, lots of fry, so lots of grow outs are going to be needed, and looking forward to that. Going to be starting a breeding project hopefully very shortly with my Bosmanis, and possibly even my neon tetras. We'll see. I have to do my research on that. I've never bred those fish either, but hopefully I can breed both of those successfully. I'll take you along for the ride, and you'll learn with me, hopefully. Certainly glad you were able to join me today. Again, hit the like button, the notification button, and please subscribe to the channel. Look forward to the support. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. And for anyone in the Ottawa area, coming up next month on the 7th, so that's a Saturday, from 10 to 12:30, the Ottawa Valley Aquarium Society will be having their first event of the season, which will be our garage sale at the J.A. Duluth Arena. And you can purchase memberships there for the upcoming season. And certainly look forward to seeing you there. I'll be there selling some of my fish, possibly some of my shrimp as well, I'm not sure yet, and my plants. And stop by and say hi. I'm always glad to meet subscribers and support the Ottawa Valley Aquarium Society. There's going to be lots of people there selling a number of different items. I'm sure for both fish and for plants, you'll definitely find something that you like. Thanks everyone, and I'll catch you on the next video.